New game. Spoopy.
The water's cold.
It's a fjord. You're not going swimming.
Boo. You're such a wet blanket, teddy bear.
You know I don't like it when you call me...
Edward. Edward Charles Harden, Esquire.
Will you promise to behave on land?
Don't I always?
Lissy, promise.
Oh, piffle and phonus balonus, Teddy. You ought to know better than to ask. Yes, I'll behave. I'll be a proper young lady. I shan't run or climb things or laugh too loud or call anyone old bean. Aside from you. So, do you think we'll find your Betty in, what did you call this village? Gravewick?
Edward knows in his heart that his sister is here, though it's been months since he last heard from Elizabeth.
It's an odd language.
Gravewick.
I don't much care for it.
Grovik. Yes, I do.
Why here? What's so special about Greywoke?
She never said, but knowing my sister, something drew her here.
But how can you know?
I just do. In her letter, she wrote about...
But that's months ago. She could have gone anywhere.
Without writing, or telegraphing her editor in New York, she wouldn't do that. Betty's...
The cat's pajamas, the bee's knees, Little Miss Perfect.
Alice, you're talking about my sister.
Fine. I'm sorry. Elizabeth Sidarb. We all love her dearly. And Teddy Bear. Edward. We will find her. Betty's fine. Why, we'll see her as soon as we get to shore. She'll shower you with kisses and berate you for coming all this way from Hanover, Massachusetts to the middle of absolutely nowhere Scandinavia way just to chase her down. Everything will be Jake, old fruit.
Everything will be Jake, old fruit.
Is that it? Is that Groovewoke? It looks so peaceful and beautiful and so desolate. Like a place built for ghosts.
Finally. I don't think I could do this for much longer.
Can't you row any faster? I'm getting frightfully bored.
How about you take over, Alice?
Yeah, Alice.
You slay me, Teddy, old bean. Was that thunder?
Still distant. The boat will be in safe harbor by the time the weather arrives.
So you say. But I say put your back into it, because we're sitting ducks out here. Quack, quack.
What's our relationship to Alice? Like, so she's not our sister. Is this our love interest?
It's so quiet.
She seems much younger,
Where is
right?
everyone?
Probably working. I know it's a foreign concept to you.
One sec. All right. We should have the subtitles on, I think. Visuals fine. It's controls. I want the sensitivity to be lower.
But that's something normal people do.
Hardy har har.
The Fretland...
How do we do this with our own subtitles? Let me know if that's too distracting.
Up where?
I believe it's that farmhouse, all the way at the top.
Hot dog! Let's ankle!
Hold on. Let me read the letter from Mrs. Fretland first.
I'll meet you up there, old sport. I want to explore.
Be careful. The ground's muddy. You could slip and fall.
See you in 2 shakes.
Dear Mr. Harton, we would like to extend an invitation to visit our home. Trouble to hear of your sister's disappearance. No news to share. You'll find our farm on top of the hill. I hope I got that right. Look forward to seeing you here in October. Yours faithfully, Anna Fretland. Well, I'm here. Where are you? Did you make it to Grovik, Betty? And why did you pick this forlorn hole under the mountains?
Ooh, our sister's a fox. Look at her smoky
So sprach
look.
Zarathustra.
Sprach Zarathustra. All right.
Are you coming? I'm almost there.
Would you relax?
Righto. Step to it, teddy bear.
Press F
Lissy.
to locate Lissy.
I'm waiting for you at the farm.
Nicholas Bolton is Edward. Frederick and Fred. Okay, so hi Xenotech, how you doing? Gotcha. You get to pick your rest. Do I need to rest? You get to pick the game.
Are you coming?
Just taking a break.
Hurry up. Storm's getting closer.
I don't know why I need to take a break. Draugen. Maybe I'm ill? Maybe I'm sickly? I don't think I need to rest every 10 feet, right? I can't read that cursive. No. Wow, I'm really huffing and puffing here. Maybe this is just a mechanic to help us enjoy and get into the ambiance, the surrounding and the setting. Okay, I'm good. Right? So gotcha. In the message, there's a URL to the prizes, or you can type prizes like that. And then you get to pick a game, and I just need an email address and whatever game you want. Also, hi Xenotech, how are you? I don't think I have any mods around right now.
Teddy, this way. Edward Charles Harden, I'm waiting for you.
It feels like even just like putting the briefcase down is like laborious for our character. Whoop.
You don't think they're dicking around over there, do you?
Hey, Skilly. Maybe we're just not used to this altitude. Hopefully we don't have to walk very slowly.
What took you so long?
I'm not 17.
Nor are you 70. Put some spring into your step, old sport.
Did you see the flag? It's at half-mast. Someone died.
So this is it, huh? Nice digs. But seriously, where is everyone?
Perhaps everyone's indoors. The rain's picking up.
You first, old bean.
Hello? Anyone there? Mr. Fretland? Mrs. Fretland? This is Edward Charles Harden, the American. We've exchanged letters.
Maybe they went on holiday and left the door open. Give it a shake and a rattle.
I can't just barge into their home.
It's not a crime if you're invited.
I'm coming in. This is Mr. Harden. Hello? Is anyone home?
This house is as empty as a bird's nest in December.
It feels like
Hey, you want to check out the upstairs?
Certainly not. I'm going to sit down and wait for the Fretlands.
Oh, maybe there are extra comfortable chairs upstairs. Well, I didn't want to go upstairs. Oh, this is nice. Charmingly rustic. The Boston Beaumont would pay a pretty penny for this setup. I thought foreigners lived differently. This is almost like an American home.
People are people wherever you go.
Thanks, Proust.
You can see the whole village from up here.
Do you want to go sightseeing?
Tomorrow. It's getting late, and the rain's not abating.
Look! Family pictures. They must be the, what did you call them?
The Fretlands.
Right. Anna and John?
Johann.
it's a nice
This
mustache
is
on
honestly not what I
Johann.
pictured. They're very presentable. Not at all like turnip farmers.
They're not turnip farmers. That must be Johann Fretland, master of the house.
What makes you think he's the master of anything?
Hey, Rith.
It's 1923, Teddy old boy. Women can vote. I'm guessing their daughter is the master of this house. She's cute as a button. I can't wait to meet her. She's guaranteed to be more fun than you. Johann went and found himself a delectable bride.
Alice, please.
Alice.
What can I say? She's a minx.
Alice.
Anna Fretland is a respectable woman. Her letter was courteous and professional.
Didn't you say she was a city girl? Must have been awfully hard to adjust to life in the sticks. I can relate.
Hanover isn't the sticks.
Says you. Old Johann's a bit wooden, isn't he? Like someone put a stick
They're
up his
posing for a
up
photograph.
his rear end. I say, loosen up, Johann. I'm sure you two stiffs will get along famously.
Wow.
Dear Mrs. Fretland, I trust this letter finds you and your husband in good health. I wrote to inform them about when I'd be arriving. So where are they?
Do they even have calendars? Maybe they don't know what day it is.
Despite appearances, we haven't gone back in time. They have calendars. Home feels very far away.
So we're
Are we
from
feeling
Hanover.
melancholy again?
I've never been this far from Hanover.
It's about time we got you out of that dreary old house, Teddy Bear.
I asked about Elizabeth.
And they hadn't seen her?
So we're searching
Anna.
for our sister.
Mrs. Fretland promised she'd write if she heard anything. There wouldn't be many female reporters from New York and Western Norway.
Why would she come here in the first place?
Betty always has her reasons. Oh, the thought of boarding that infernal ocean liner again.
I quite enjoyed it. So much room for exploration and mischief.
So many opportunities for seasickness and claustrophobia.
Don't be a Debbie Downer. I'm sure your tummy will be better behaved on the return voyage. And you'll be craving enclosed spaces after a week in this wide open wilderness.
You might be right, Alice.
Where do you think they've gone?
The books are all in English.
Isn't that a bit odd?
Mrs. Fretland is Scottish, though she grew up in Aalesund.
Have you been secretly communicating with Johann's winsome wife, Edward dearest?
Certainly not. She was the one who wrote me, because Mr. Fretland's English
I was
is as...
only joking. Lighten up, old sport. Don't be such a pill.
The books are all in English.
Isn't that a bit odd?
Mrs. Fretland is Scottish, though she grew up in Olesund.
Have you been secretly communicating with Johann's winsome wife, Edward, dear? What are you looking at there?
A book.
Strange place for a book. Unless it was a terrible book that deserved a good burning. What's the title?
The cover's charred. Christmas 1922. To Ruth, from Simon. Why would someone burn this?
Like I said, maybe it was a terrible book. Is Simon one of the Freddylanders?
I don't think so. They only have the one daughter.
It was Simon. Simon did it.
Did you hear something?
No.
Must be the wind under the door. Or the churning sea. Or the interminable rain. Or flesh-eating ghouls waiting to pounce.
Alice, honestly.
It's
You're the one
probably
who reads
the
Poe to
ghouls.
me. Don't blame me for having an active imagination. Wait. Is that... Are they... Who's... They're all twins. All of them.
That's Johann and Anna Fretland.
There are two of each, Edward. Two of each.
Frederick and Margaret.
Twins marrying twins. That's wild.
My mind's reeling. This is just too adorable.
May 26th, 1899. We'll be celebrating their silver anniversary next year.
Huh. Yeah, I won't be going tonight either, Rith. No worries.
Well, those boys look proud as peacocks. What does it say there? Groovy?
Gruben, the mine.
Maybe that's where everyone is. Digging for precious jewels in the Stygian abyss.
From what I learned of this place during the brief stay in Olesund, the iron mine shut down 20 years ago. Frederick and Johann Fretland, founders of the Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
They're the spitting image of each other.
Twin brothers and business partners.
And they married twin sisters. Adorable. Who's the boy? He looks related to the other two.
The mine was only in operation until 1902. They must have lost a fortune. An iron mine wouldn't pay itself off in 5 years.
Can we go spelunking? Perhaps we'll find trolls in the abyss, and we can steal their ill-gotten gold.
No problem, gotcha.
There was a cave-in. It'll be unsafe.
Boo.
I will hero it, which means you'll donate it to somebody who has never won before, and you'll be a hero.
Johann Fretland exits Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
So the brothers parted ways?
Johann sold his share to focus on farming.
That must have put a damper on their relationship.
Johann Fretland exits Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
So the brothers parted ways?
Wait, what?
Johann sold his share to focus on farming.
That must have put a damper on their relationship.
I did that wrong? Let's try this
Tragic
one.
accident befalls the Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
The mine collapsed, killing 3 workers, including Arne Fretland, Frederick and Johann's younger brother.
That's awful. How old was he?
19.
He might be the boy in the photograph.
That's a good
Operations were suspended after the accident. Foreign investors out of Frederick Fretland's mining company. Dire financial consequences for Fretland, who must have had a difficult time after his brother Johann Fretland pulled out earlier this year.
Johann was smart to exit when he did.
The timing is curious, like he knew something was about to go awry.
What else can we see? Can we not get, like, lights turned on in this joint? I saw like a gas lamp on the wall, right?
Oof, that's a grim sight, old bean.
Okay.
I'm exhausted and soaked to the bone.
Let's get you to bed.
We'll wait for the Fretlands. It's only courteous.
Well,
There's the Stave Church.
Do you think that's where they've all gone? Maybe there's a very popular funeral.
The flag was at half-mast, but no sign of life out there.
crazy, dude. Is the whole town abandoned? Oh, wait, we can't go back? Huh. So did we miss something that we need to look at? We look, we read this stuff. Oh, I guess we go through this door. What?
Betty.
Have you gone screwy again, Teddy? That's not Betty. That's...
Scarf. I'd know it anywhere.
It doesn't look like anything to me. It just
She bought
looks
it in
like...
Bloomingdale's the Christmas before last. When she came home that year, she showed it off, dancing around the sitting room until I got dizzy watching her.
I think you're misremembering. She couldn't make it home that year. Again.
No, you're wrong. I'm sure she was there.
Whatever. It's not like you pay any attention to me when Betty's around. I might just as well be a ghost.
Huh.
Look, it is her scarf. It even smells like her perfume. Shalimar.
But what if that's not?
She's here. I'm finally going to find her.
That's great, Edward, really. I wouldn't want you to get your hopes up.
Spoopy.
I mean, where's everyone gone to? Something's not right, I'm telling you. Teddy? Edward, what's wrong?
Lightheaded, that's all.
You're having another spell. You know what happens when you exert yourself. Sit down. That's an order from your commander.
Yes. Fine. I just need to catch my breath. Just for a moment.
I want you to lie down. Lie down and close your eyes. It's been a strenuous day. What with the rowing and the dragging of the suitcase up the hill.
But what if the Fretland...
I'll keep an eye out. I promise. If they come home, I'll wake you. Now, lie down, close your eyes, breathe deeply.
I'm just... going to...
Shh.
This is totally spoopy. In like a very, very subtle way, right? Don't lie down. It's a trap. You can exclamation point trap.
Is that you? Betty? Lissy? Lissy, are you here? Lissy? Hello? Hey, who's there? Betty? Elizabeth? Wait! Lissy, there's someone outside. It might be Betty. Are you here, Lissy? Who's out there? Hello? Betty? Lissy? Betty?
It's a trap!
I'm not alone.
What is this?
It's a trap!
Hey, nerdy. Ah!
I can hear you! Alice!
Welcome back, princess.
Who goes there? Wait!
It's a trap!
This is a dream sequence, right?
Someone there?
Do I really have to? Okay.
Alice, where are you? Hello?
Goat, was it you? Did you murder my sister?
Betty, is that you?
No, Betty's not a goat, you dummy.
Betty. Shit. Elizabeth, are you there?
What the what?
The boat, Edward! Where's our boat?
Lizzie.
Wait, so it's not a dream sequence?
Where did you go? Why did you leave me?
It stopped raining and you were sleeping, and our boat, it's gone.
The boat... What? How?
Maybe you didn't secure it properly.
I pulled it up. I don't know. I thought I tied it securely, but...
Grim Reaper, good to see you.
Did you see Betty?
Did I see... What are you talking about?
I think... Betty... It was Betty.
Thanks for the host, buddy.
It was her. It must have been her. I saw her face in the window, and she vanished into the dark towards the sea. You really didn't see anyone.
I haven't seen a single soul. Are you sure it was her and
Yes.
not...
I mean, I saw her face, and it looked like her.
Well, if it
We
was
didn't
her,
really see her face,
why
right?
did she run away?
I don't know.
It's called Draugen. It's a
The house.
murder mystery
Tomorrow's another day.
where Americans who've traveled to
Down.
Norway in search of our sister.
Right now, let's get you cleaned up. Look at you. You've got mud all over yourself. And then you really need to sleep. You must be exhausted.
So it just started, princess. And we're trying to figure out, like, our character has some sort of health concern. And not quite sure who our friend is here. See, it feels like that was a dream, but I don't know.
I will find you again.
He You might have the old timers. I don't think we're that old.
Teddy, come outside. It's a beautiful day.
Also, can I turn off the motion blur? Thank you. Jesus. Motion blur is the worst. Team Justice, thanks for the host. I don't want to. We didn't even search the rest of this house yet. Let me read. But I want to. Okay, I guess we're on the plot rail right now because I feel like we would be ordinarily able to read that note, right? Maybe not. It's not gonna let us yet. All right. I guess we're going outside. This game rules. All the dried.
I just about given up on you ever waking up.
I was looking around the house.
So we're okay with that now? Noted. Sleep well?
I dreamed of Betty. She was in the garden, and she called for me.
How about you, Lissy dearest? Oh, you know me, old fruit, wide awake at first light.
The Fretlands didn't come home, did they?
They did not. There's no sign of anyone. Aside from last night's Mistwalker.
I've been thinking about that.
Oh, I guess that wasn't a dream.
It was dark. Maybe I just saw a shadow.
Chasing a shadow. That's very unlike you, old boy. Usually you scurry off in the opposite direction.
I didn't get a good look. I'm not even sure there was anyone there.
Well, there must be someone here. And I'm not talking about ghosts. Or goats. What was it you said yesterday? Maybe they're peeking at us through the windows.
I'll take a gander. The Fretlands will be home soon. And Betty's here. I know it. I feel it.
Her
If
scarf
you say
is
so,
here.
Teddy Bear. Have you had your noodle juice yet?
I'm not rummaging through their cupboards.
You'll be a pill without your tea and toast, old bean. We need to get you sorted.
I'm not hungry. First point on the agenda. Find the natives.
A mission! Hot dog! I'll scout ahead. I'll meet you down by those houses.
Plot train.
Cover your secrets, Grovik.
Interesting. Press J to view the journal. Noted. I do have a sprint key. I really hope it just lets us use it. I'm holding to jog. We're jogging. Koala Katie. Is it time to call who will be the murderer even if we don't find... We have no idea. The only people we know of are the Fretlands. We haven't actually met them, so... I'm okay with there being a plot railroad as long as the story is interesting, right?
Up here, Teddy. Hey, eyes up here. It's such a beautiful day. You could bottle and sell this air in Boston. It's frankly medicinal.
It's chilly.
That's all you have to say? It's chilly?
You're not cold.
Why would I be?
Thought you were scouting ahead.
What do you think I'm doing? Vantage point, like on a pirate ship. I can probably see our house in Hanover from here.
Did you check those buildings?
Knocking on doors isn't a scout's job, old bean.
So these buildings? Hey, Princess. This skin looks pretty. What made you move on from Dauntless, though? Oh, it was my plan today to do a little bit of Dauntless and warm up and then play some of this.
Hello? Anyone here?
Why, hello, Mr. American. Please come in for a cup of tea and biscuits.
You're not helping. Also, they drink coffee here, not tea.
Savages. No one home?
What? Uh-oh.
Hello?
What does that say?
Who's there? Hello? Anyone home? September 21st, 1923. Vi desperata. Lissy, found something here. Escalated from words to stones. Blood has been spilled.
Dun, dun, dun.
Curse haunts us all. There is no hope left in
The curse?
Guds förlåta. Good. God. Right. In this God-forsaken place. The death of the Jiminy. Death of the children was the end of Grovik. Whatever remained of our souls departed with them.
What?
You should see this, Lissy. The letter just trails off. It was never sent.
I want to take it. King Kong! way to break up the somber.
King Kong 954 just subscribed. Can you feel the love tonight?
Can I get a King Kong in chat, please? And some hype. This is like the least hype game I've ever played on stream, and it's both awesome and great that you know.
Teddy Bear. You're as skittish as a pussycat. There's one more house. Third time's the charm.
New basement windows installed. Yay for working vents. Yes. Good job, buddy.
Anyone home?
Unless they're playing
like
hide and go
the
seek.
asshole
I'd
on
say
the butt
that's a
thing.
no.
Oh, that's a booty hole. Maybe we should look around more.
3 strikes, you're out.
I don't
What
think anyone
What is
knows.
written on the door?
Someone painted the word traitor on one of the doors.
Oh. Okay,
And
traitor.
there was a letter. It sounded foreboding.
Well, you were wrong. The villagers are not indoors.
I saw some sheds down by the water. There's the general store, the church.
In other words, time for some sightseeing? Well, it's a bright and beautiful day, and we have nothing better to do.
What on earth are you doing?
Handstands, Teddy! My record is 2 minutes. I'm working on 3. Just go on ahead. I'll catch up.
Yeah, well, we did open it. We poked our head in, but it didn't let us, like, move into the building. Right? So it's like this, where we just kind of look around. Except for the one that says traitor on the door. We were able to go in and read that note. Is this a shortcut?
How about we don't go back to Hanover and stay here instead?
And how would I survive?
Hunt, harvest, forage. People have survived here for centuries. Why can't we?
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I could learn. I'd start with goats. Goats can be eaten and milked. Probably not in that order.
I feel like that's something you would do, Princess.
Frederick, Fretland, and son.
Johann's brother and nephew.
The Fretlands have their fingers in all the pies, including the only store in town.
Also the post office and telegraph. There may be something that'll lead us to Betty in there. Applesauce.
Why
Applesauce.
lock any doors? I can't imagine they have a problem with punks and hoodlums.
The sign says they're closed, but I thought maybe... Hello? Fretland and Son.
How do you figure?
It's on the sign above the entrance. And on this photograph. Frederick and Simon Fretland. The older gentleman is clearly Mr. Fretland's twin brother.
Twins are confusing. If this was a dime novel, they'd be switching places at some point to confuse the coppers. Damn you, twins!
Simon Fretland. Frederick's son.
And Johann's nephew. See, I'm getting the hang of this. Simon. Simon. That was the name in the burnt book. So Simon is Ruth's older cousin.
Very interesting. She is plucky. Oh. What have we here?
They had a memorial service for the accident in the mine. On July 24th, in the village church.
For something that happened 20 years ago?
It still affected their lives. The ferry route is no longer operating.
Rats!
Mrs. Fretland already informed me in her letter.
I know. Still warrants a resounding rats.
17.
I wonder why it stopped running.
Look around. How many people live here? 20? 30? That can't be enough for a ferry route.
Things got quieter after the mine closed down.
They need to move on and find something else to put their village on the map. Tobacco farming, maybe.
The ferry would have made the trip here much easier.
And you wouldn't have had to pay that farmer a fortune to rent his boat.
I had no choice.
We should keep his boat. If it comes back. Bring it with us to Hanover.
Do what with it exactly?
I don't know. Grow parsley in it? Use it in the pond? Forget it. Stupid idea.
It must have been so isolated, with no easy way in or out.
Aren't there boats?
You saw.
You
how
think
much
she
room
seems
there was
older than
across the
that?
fjord.
I don't feel that way.
And if the weather's bad,
Can't be healthy. Being so isolated. Cooped up inside. Reading the collected works.
yeah, all right, I get it.
This village is basically you, Teddy.
I said all right. The telegraph is out of order.
Well, there goes my plan. NOSOS.
This was 2 years ago, but the notice is still up.
How can it take 2 years to get something like that fixed?
If they couldn't afford it, or couldn't get anyone to come fix it.
Well, this place really is off the map. Here be dragons. Or draugans, I guess.
Draw. Hordes seem older than 17 to you? I'd like to know 17-year-old princess. Hot diggity, rocks sure are swell. Did I nail it? Okay. Let's view our journal. Hello, people.
A boat! Teddy! A hot dog! This is our ticket out of here!
Not without Betty. Besides, there's a hole in this boat. It'll sink before it gets 10 yards from shore. It's curious. The state of the boats. It's like they stopped taking care of them.
Seems short-sighted. How would they fish? Or get anywhere at all?
They're all cursed. It's from the curse, you guys. Like, is it no one else paying attention to the fact that the note said that there was a curse?
What's this?
Remnants of the mining operation.
What, mine?
Remember, I told you yesterday. There was a mine here, but it closed down 20 years ago.
I know, Edward. I was just checking for a sense of humor. Still nowhere to be found.
To Min Om. It's a memorial. 3 men died when the mine collapsed in 1902. Georg Hatlestein, Niels Framberg, Arne Fretland.
See, this is what working a regular job. Did you say Fretland?
The younger brother who was mentioned in the article.
Where do these tracks lead?
To the mine. Where else would they go?
I don't know. A castle up in the mountains where the frost giants live.
Oh
And
man,
this is
that'd be
how they
awesome with their
receive their
frost
monthly
giants in this
offering of
game.
meat from the villagers. Goat, I hope.
No trespassing for traitors.
Cool. Want to jump the gate and explore what's on the other side?
Edward isn't
What do you
particularly
say,
enthused by
sport?
the idea of climbing the fence and braving the path up the hill. Edward considers the rickety gate and the overgrown path into the woods beyond
Teddy?
it doesn't look very inviting.
The sign says no trespassing for a reason.
Come on! There may be trolls, or at least more houses. Where's your sense of adventure, old sport? Don't you want to see where these tracks go?
They lead to the old mine. And no, I've had enough adventure on this side of the fence. Besides, they wrote no trespassing for a reason.
You're such a terrible bore, Teddy Bear.
We are a terrible
I'll
bore.
wager 1,000 clams you'll jump this gate at some point, if you believe Betty's on the other side.
I will not take that bet.
Who are these traitors he refers to?
Wouldn't that be his brother? For pulling out of the mining operation? So, Johann is the traitor, right?
What if everyone turned into a pebble, and they can't speak?
Clams. We're clams. You're a clam. What else are we doing? We went down there. Draw. Let's draw. Ooh, drawing music. Oh, she said 1,000 clams. Yeah, if she could produce 1,000 clams, then our problems would be over, right? Let's view the journal. Getting the hang of this.
Good evening,
Ladies and gentlemen.
We are
Tonight's entertainment. We got a wagon. What's up, villain? How are you, buddy?
What now? We've looked everywhere.
There really doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Maybe we missed something. An important clue. How about the general store? We haven't been inside yet.
It looked deserted, but worth another look, I guess.
But we have to draw. Koala Katie. We haven't even gone upstairs in the house that we're staying in. Of course we've missed. Wait, why is that bird trying to get in the window? Hey, bird. Oh, is this the clue bird? This is the clue bird.
Is that? Lizzie.
It's
come
Betty's
here.
hat.
It's Betty's hat. She was here. She could still be in there. Betty? Betty!
Are you sure, Edward? I mean, it's just a hat. Is it even a hat? I'm not sure.
I know my sister's hat, Lizzie. I have to get inside.
Lizzie,
What about the
stop
breaking
it.
and entering part?
I could care less what they call it.
Let's do it. Let's do it! There's a trapdoor in the ceiling. Apparently we are bad at opening this window. I would not know your brother's hat for the life of you.
It's
Yeah,
a
but
trap!
in 1922, you only had like one hat. Right? I need to use this fence. Or this fence. This ladder. To climb. And we'll get in through the trapdoor in the attic. But of course this window, yep, it's always the last one you
Here's an
research.
open window.
You seem eager to break the law. I approve.
Here we go.
It won't budge.
It's a window!
Don't be a milquetoast.
Well, it's stuck.
Attaboy, Teddy. You can do this.
Pull harder, Teddy. It's a window.
I can't believe I'm actually breaking. Whoops, Daisy.
Oh my, Teddy. You're such a sap.
A sideways ladder can serve as a fence. That's a good point, Princess. Thank you.
Edward Charles Harding. Dilettante. World traveler. Cat burglar.
A cat
Dilettante.
burglar would, by definition, enter a building on a higher
Jeez.
floor.
The state of this place.
Oh, Betty. I
Edward,
hope you weren't here when...
is this blood?
Not necessarily human blood.
Well, that's all right then. What does it say? Barn murder? Someone murdered a barn?
Barn means child. And mortar, that's...
Child murder. Edward, they murdered a child?
Someone thought so.
Probably the same someone who vandalized the store.
Well, that... Yes. That would be obvious, correct? Bingo.
It's the same photograph as in the farmhouse.
Johan's
but
gone. At least, I assume he's the one who's been... snip.
Frederick clearly did not want anything to do with his twin brother.
That's what I'm saying. He left... This door's gonna be locked. 100%. 100%.
Damnation. The hat's in here.
Calm down, old boy. Anyway, how's the hat going to help us?
Who knows what else is in here? There could be more clues.
All right. Okay.
Why would Frederick keep a list of what he calls traitors?
What did they do to him?
Cross him in some way. Why else keep a list of undesirables?
This would have to be everyone, right?
All right. All right. Okay. Everything's Jake. We made it into the store. I'm sure we'll find a way through that door. What are you doing?
Looking for keys.
Your life of crime continues.
The keys are all gone.
Some thieving thieves beat you to it. Rascals.
There's a note.
Is it written in Viking runes? What does it say?
It's from Simon. Casa. I don't know what that word means. Yai put it means I put. Nurkel is key.
He put the key in the casa?
Casa. I wish I had my dictionary.
That's
The note's
the...
addressed to his father.
So the key was moved. But where to?
Somewhere safer.
It's
Or
the cash
more
register.
Convenient.
Can we really trust your translations? You only started studying a month ago.
I spent the summer reading, and I had a lot of free time on the ocean voyage.
Come on, how much could you possibly pick up in a few months?
You know my mind, it's a sponge.
To Simon from Ruth.
Out of order.
Why hasn't it been fixed?
Perhaps there wasn't much demand for it anymore.
S-O-S.
The... Why do I feel like...
Oh boy. If only this thing worked. We could order a boat to come get us. Or, even better, order some hot grub.
Hot grub would be great.
These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June, and they received my letter from July.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik.
There must be at least 10 envelopes, he notices, all of them stamped and addressed, but stuck in perpetual limbo.
These were never sent.
Okay.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June.
Casa.
Casa.
So that's what it means. Cash register.
Ordered them
You're a
clams.
genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house. Wasn't there supposed to be a key?
Here it is.
Turn the key the wrong way. Can I... But... Let me read the... There we go.
It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not sure
Betty
that's...
was here, and not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward.
What does the note say?
So, what now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
What's that?
A handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say, you silly goose?
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth. He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann, which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse. Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered. This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
They thought Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Ruth was... what's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it, and Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann thought...
The mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rock's below the church. Isn't the church right above us? Edward, come look at this. That's the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you 1,000,000 clams.
Where?
See for yourself.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissy, wait.
Is that it? We're not going to bring the note? Also, clearly we have to go up there, right? And we have to use the ladder to do it. Her hat is still warm. Well, we know that she wasn't here long ago because of the timeline. So, like, within the past couple months or whatever, our sister was here.
Teddy, up here. I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern
A
us.
little girl died. We're staying in her home, for God's sake. Are you completely without heart? Get yourself up here, Edward Harden, right this minute. Come on, it's an easy climb.
This looks very dangerous.
Oh, you're a big boy. Start acting like it. It's not Mount Everest.
I don't know about this.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Whoops-a-daisy.
I'm going to start saying whoops-a-daisy. It's my new catchphrase. Hit by giant owlbear. Whoops-a-daisy.
What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid. And this is a distraction.
No.
I'm here for
Ruth.
Betty, not because some girl got
Edward.
herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. Please look at me when I'm talking to you.
Sorry.
You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and years and years. There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
Yes. I'm with you. Fist bump.
That's been here a while.
Didn't you say it happened over a month ago?
You'd think her family would have replaced it with fresh flowers.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful. I think there's something behind it. Can you...
Something struck this bush. She must have landed on it when... on her way down.
That's ghastly, Edward.
Is it a doll?
It must be Ruth's.
We've seen this logo
Maybe
before.
the killer also
pin.
decapitates dolls.
Hold on.
It's Betty's pin.
This pin. This is old. Very old.
Isn't it? Or no, it's
It looks like something from the Viking era.
the
We
loading.
are in the land of Vikings.
The loading screen has it.
1,000 years old. It does not belong in a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin? Let's go
It's
further
the
on.
Viking curse.
Maybe we'll find more clues.
The pin. It's
Come
the
on, old
someone
sport.
took it
Not
from the
hard.
mine.
Can you wait?
Okay,
just
we
1
already put
minute
this
so
together.
I can catch my breath.
The mine was sealed by the Vikings 1,000 years ago because something happened, and it was
Or am I just stumbling through darkness?
and it was said that if someone went in there and disturbed the resting place of the Viking children who were killed by the glowworm, that the curse would befall them too. And that's what they did. Johann went in there with his brother and found the Viking pin and took it out and gave it to Ruth, and then all of the kids start dying one by one. I swear to God, I've never seen this before, but this is where I'm going with this murder story. Because we already know there's a curse, right? So, it's just like... it's just like that, when the Brady Bunch went to Hawaii, and Greg got the totem out of the cave, and then it was like a bad luck thing, and he almost drowned, and the tarantula got it. I don't even think there are tarantulas in Hawaii, but in any case, the giant tarantula was in like the bedroom, and all the terrible things started happening. I think whoever wrote this story, oh man, we need to sit a spell. Remember that episode? Yeah, dude.
You can see clear beyond the edge of the world. Right. It is awfully chilly.
One
Oh,
second.
Teddy Bear. We need to take you out walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean? Can you see where she fell?
The stone, he notices, would be the likely terminating point of a fall. He feels dizzy looking down. His heart does not favor heights.
If she fell headfirst on that rock, she would have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
You wanted to learn more. This is you learning more. She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense. We're running out of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there.
Is that the totem they had in Scrubs? I remember that they had a curse.
Lizzie.
Yes, exactly.
Slow down. I can't keep up with
The
you.
problem is,
Who knows what's up
the
there?
problem
It's
is
not worth
Lizzie
the
is still a
risk of
child. She's
falling
17.
and breaking something.
And the curse is still active. And
Lizzie?
now we are in possession of the evil
you there?
Viking totem, the cursed Viking totem. Lizzie's gonna die. Whoa, no!
Teddy,
Word. Look away, Lizzie.
is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
This is just ghastly. What made him do this? How long has he been...
From the state of the body, perhaps a couple of weeks. Depends on temperature and humidity, of course.
What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother
Don't.
drowned herself?
Oh,
Sorry.
man.
Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick. And he's too old to be Simon.
Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran,
No.
and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up, and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact.
The chair.
There's nothing more to do here.
Yeah,
I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
and if
Does
the
it look
sign
like
is
he's
God
resting in peace?
forgive me, it seems
You're just
like...
going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. This is...
You don't think they're
It's tragic.
dicking
Really,
around
nothing
over
occurs
there,
to
do
me.
you?
Betty, Betty, always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there? Would you care then? All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far. I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.
She definitely gonna die. You gotta... She's a child.
Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
perhaps they left after my
Insubordinate.
daughter died.
Was murdered,
And
you mean?
churlish.
Isn't that what we think happened?
The simplest solution, he believes, is often the correct one. The villagers believe Simon killed Ruth, and so he most
Any for
likely
your
did.
thoughts?
When tragedy befalls him, Edward thinks people tend to look for a scapegoat.
Perhaps she fell by accident.
So you don't think it was murder?
It's difficult to say with any certainty. The boy could have pushed her.
You're really not helping.
Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
All right. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck.
Where's Alice gonna sleep?
I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
I'm just gonna be sitting here, head bobbing. Oh, now we can read this note.
What did you find?
Someone tried to burn this.
Just like the book. Isn't that odd?
It's addressed to Mrs. Fretland. My dearest Anna. It's from her sister, Margaret. Frederick's wife. The two brothers married sisters, remember?
Yes. And it's adorable.
She don't sleep because
reading.
she isn't real. Oh, good twist,
Really
bro.
shouldn't.
Really? How else are we going to figure out what happened? Keep reading.
My dearest Anna, I miss you so very, very much. The baby is due soon, and I wish for our family to reunite
was
before...
pregnant.
It's been 7 years since the dreadful incident at the mine. Can we not convince Frederick and Johann to forgive and forget? I know there are things Frederick has not told me about what they found and why they parted ways. Their grudge is tearing us all apart. Frederick won't even let me speak to half of our neighbors, accusing them of treason. He's so very angry and full of regrets. It's eating him up. And we...
And
That's
we
the
what?
end.
The rest is unreadable.
Margaret reached out to her sister. But I guess it didn't work.
This was written before Simon was born, but burned recently.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's from 1909. I'll never understand why our stubborn husbands cannot reconcile and put the rest past behind them. After all, it's been 7 years since the dreadful accident at the mine. Their younger brother died in the mine. Johann and Margaret had Ruth, who died by falling off the rocks. Frederick and the other twin wife had Simon, who they blame for pushing. But why do they think that Simon would have done it? That's where I'm missing, like, why they think that Simon would have pushed his cousin when they do seem to have, like, we've seen a couple pictures of them together. He he like gave her a book. She wrote a nice drawing of the two of them or whatever as friends. Like, it seems weird. I know there are things that Frederick has not told me about what they found and what they and why they parted ways, and I'm sure Johann keeps things from you too, though I know he's not like his twin brother. Sometimes I feel I picked the shorter straw. Oh, isn't that an awful thing to say? I do love Frederick, but it's getting harder and harder to understand him. Oh, Anna, I feel the grudge is tearing us all apart. Frederick won't even let me speak to half of our neighbors, accusing them of treason and other dreadful things. Every day there's some new grudge or grievance another person who has betrayed or disappointed him. Huh. It's interesting because I feel like this is good information to know, but it's not giving it to you in the actual voice, where he's like kind of skipping past a lot of the stuff that seems like it might be. We're gonna have to read these notes and things as best we can, and not just rely on what the voiceover is saying or whatever. I mean, that'd be a good twist if it really was the case that she was like somehow made up Myrna's mind. Locked. Who locks an interior door? People who are inside. He sees dead people. We don't really know what Alice's relation is to us, right? Like, she's not our little sister. This is Ruth's room. Hold on, let's see if we can. Here's people in church being sad at a funeral. Right? Oh, she's got treasure. She found the Viking treasure, and that's where the pin came from. So somewhere there's a treasure chest with treasure in it. It's not letting us look at this book. There's a monster in the water or something. And then here are the two dads fighting, and this is our cousin and us feeling sad about it, I guess. And that's where we poop. And the what? The Yeti did it for Bandelson. What's a for Bandelson? The Yeti is protecting the treasure that we found, and we took the pin, angering the Yeti, who's now committed murder. This is all very obvious to me. Krayoka. Drawing carry on. Interesting. There's a man-bear pig. It's half man, half bear, half pig. Here is a creepy rabbit smiling. Verboten. Yeah, but it's not German. They're Norwegian. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, let's try again. Hold on. Oh, This is way easier. August 3rd, 1923. This morning I had lemon juice and hot water with no sugar instead of tea. I also had half an apple and dry toast. I've been gaining weight lately. I read about this diet in the paper. It's apparently very popular in London, but I'm dreadfully hungry. I crave fried eggs and sausages. August 4th, 1923. We received an odd letter yesterday addressed to Johann. It's from an American gentleman, Mr. Edward Harden of Hanover, Massachusetts. The letter was well written and very polite. Mr. Harden received our information from the Ailsund police when he requested a contact in Gravik. I do wonder why they gave him Johann's name and not Frederick's. Perhaps because our dear Margaret is no longer with us. And I am better prepared to respond in English than Frederick. So Margaret, her twin sister, is dead? Mr. Harden inquired about his sister, Elizabeth Harden, who's traveling on her own. Apparently she's a journalist. Imagine that, and crossing the Atlantic Ocean to write about Norway. It sounds wonderful. The letter said Elizabeth telegraphed her brother from Ailsund to inform him that she planned to visit Gravik. Why she'd want to come to this dreary old place, I have no idea. There's nothing here worth writing about anymore. His sister has not arrived yet. If she had, I would have tired her out with questions about America, being a journalist and traveling the world on her own. She sounds so interesting. I hope she does come, even though she will surely be bored out of her mind. I'll write Mr. Harden today. Johann is not comfortable writing letters, especially in English. He agrees that we should invite Mr. Harden to stay here if he decides to come. After all, there are no guest houses in Gravik, and our spare room is rarely used. Also, I have to admit, having a visitor from America sounds terribly exciting. August 5th, 1923. This morning I had a boiled egg and buttered toast after Johann told me I was being silly and that I do not lose any weight, seeing as we're not in London and no one cares. I wrote Mr. Harden to invite him to stay at the house if he decides to come. I'm terribly excited. I do worry for his sister. I wonder where she could be. August 9th, 1923. There was an argument in the shop earlier today. Frederick was yelling at poor Astrid, claiming their goats had been grazing on his land. I wanted to speak up, but knew it would only make him angrier. August 10th. Johann went across the fjord this morning to purchase some necessities, including new fabrics, and to pick up the post. The letters have been piling up in the store. I sometimes worry the world has completely forgotten about us. August 17th. I finished another dress today. This one was for myself. There are no customers anymore. No one here needs another dress, and it's been ages since we visited the city. I hardly know anyone there, and who would want their dresses made in Gravik when they can have one tailored in Ailsund? I feel lonely today. I miss my dear Margaret so much after all these years. August 20th. I think Ruth is hiding something from me. She's been awfully secretive. She goes off on her own even more than usual, and her clothes are filthy. I don't mind her playing and exploring, of course. I always did regret Margaret and I not being allowed to run free when we were little. Ruth says she's just looking for flowers and pretty rocks. I shouldn't worry so much. August 21st. Simon popped by today with a gift for Ruth, a whole bar of chocolate. He's a sweet boy, but Frederick would be furious if he knew. August 22nd. I asked Ruth if she plays up by Frederick's farm or near the old mine. She promised she doesn't. I've never had reason not to trust her, but I still feel she's hiding something from me. I looked at her drawings while she was out. She's got such an imagination. September 5th, we received another letter from Mr. Harden. He'll be here in October as planned. I look forward to having someone else to speak with, if only for a few days. Not that Johann is in good company, but we have little to converse about outside of our daily routines. There's been no sign of Mr. Harden's sister yet. If she left Aisland weeks ago, where could she be? She may well have decided to stop along the way. We've heard nothing, but we so rarely speak with anyone outside Gravik these days. I do hope she's all right. I would hate for Mr. Harden to come all this way to no avail. Ruth is still being secretive. I know she's hiding something. One of these days I will follow her. September 9th. No church service again today. The vicar hasn't been back since the memorial service in July. Johann believes he won't be back, and that he's given up on Gravik, like everyone else. I think I'm coming down with a cold. September 15th. Someone damaged our boat during the night. That's the third one this month. Johann suspects Frederick, of course. It fears something is bubbling up to the surface again after all these years. I'm not at all feeling well and spent most of yesterday and today in bed. Ruth was sweet and brought me potato soup and tea with honey and milk. September 18th. She has left us. Our dearest Ruth is gone. I cannot believe it was Simon's doing. He too is now gone, and with him all hope Gravik had left in it. We don't know what happened to Simon specifically, right? Dragon Waltz. I still have the read thing in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It's a bit of a glitch, isn't it? That's Ruth's room. We still can't get... Can't get in here, right?
I really thought I'd find Betty today.
I told you not to get your hopes up, Edward. I mean, we just got here. It's a big place. She could be anywhere.
It's just the thought of her alone out there in the dark.
She's a tough cookie. You're Betty. Tougher than you, teddy bear.
I almost forgot putting this aside when I lit the fire. Wasn't there an inscription inside?
Simon. Simon gave that book to Ruth. But who burned it?
Johann or Anna, if they believed Simon killed her.
But they were friendly, right? Simon and Ruth. Before...
I imagine so. And we know the sisters were close.
I still don't understand why the brothers had a falling out.
We have to go to the mine, dude.
Drove a wedge between them. It was big.
This is the letter. These are the articles. Yeah, we've done all this stuff.
You do look exhausted. Go to bed, Edward. I'll tuck you in.
Oh, let's place the hat. This is creepy, dude.
What are you doing?
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy
Not
to...
now, please. I'm exhausted.
I think Skelly might be right.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlins arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
There are no...
Hush now. Sleep.
Alright. I think that's where we're going to stop on this game today. We're going to go back to Dauntless. I'm really into this game. I I really like this mystery, but this is feels like a good stopping point.